Hey Rami, hey Blob. Wondering earlier today how long you'd wait to start the stream if no one typed hey guys. I usually just wait till the 40 to 60 second mark anyway. I don't like having a protracted intro. All right, so what am I doing today? Adam is reviewing his tenets. Then he's reviewing Darkstorm's code. PRs for battling / item / quests. Then he's writing his own code for some other part of Skeleseller. All right, that's our command. You lied to us. I mean, it happens anyway that someone types hey guys usually. Discord bot running wild. It should have just been banned, right? Although maybe it's because someone like Ember just did it, or Rami. No, your bot posted 3x. Oh, I see. My bot. Oh. Uh-oh. Yeah, why did that happen? Let me take a quick look. Docker ps-a docker logs bot 613f. All right, I see some messages. Failed to subscribe to event conflict. I should probably just restart this thing at some point. Socket for users not connected or does not have a session ID yet. This should never happen. Please file a bug. I don't know.
Whoops.
I'll probably just restart that at some point. Yeah. Anyway, hey everybody. So let's get to the stuff I actually want to do here. Review other PRs. Yeah, my own thing. Code stuff on top of the battle system. And then restart Abbott at some point. Wait, who's that? Who's that? Chef Alton, thanks for resubbing. It's that time again for me to thank you. Yeah, cheers. Welcome back. So tenets, first thing we do every Monday, at least first thing we try to do every Monday, tenet review. And I have some small updates. So update number 1, I think I'm going to be dropping the community stuff as a tenet. There's no point having a tenet that I remind myself of every week if I'm not doing anything about it. And I feel like I haven't been doing anything about it. I've been streaming now for almost 5 months. And in that time, I've had one community manager meeting and we came up with like a small number of action items. And I don't think it did a whole lot. So I think I should just drop this until I feel like I've got more time or it's more of a priority. And it's kind of sad because if this were just a thing, I'd be happy that, okay, hey, yeah, the community is doing stuff on its own. But you need to bootstrap it somehow and then get people to have that as their own part of the community culture. So yeah, I think we're gonna abandon this. But maybe we'll come back to it at some point. So retired on today, rationale is mostly here. I'm not prioritizing it. And I don't think I'm going to start prioritizing it this year. I just don't feel like I have the time to devote to it. I'd still like to focus on it at some point, but yeah. Okay. So that's one update, which is a little bit sad. The second update is I turned off leaderboards for subscriptions and cheers on Twitch. I just feel like it'll remove some clutter. Maybe I'll turn them on again at some point, but now you can see a little bit more of chat. So with that in mind, let's take a look at the tenets that do remain. So post-stream to-dos. I still haven't caught up on my catch-up days. I take Thursdays to do other stuff, and that's been great. But they've been busy in ways that doesn't involve me tackling those to-do items yet. I want to keep an eye on this. Get to the point. I think this is working well for Skeleseller. We're not really just spinning on stuff for a while. Sustainability. last week's YouTube video was a ton of effort for one of my worst performing videos. I need to wrangle that in back somehow. Other than that, I guess I've been busier than normal, and it's not alarming yet, but I also need to keep an eye on that. Yeah, I mean, whenever one of these is failing, usually kind of both of these are failing. So I think those are the tough parts here. Embrace failure. I don't think there's been anything here. Nothing comes to mind for this. And successes. So good first full week of Skeleseller development. And figured out the game design issues for the shopping system, or the building system, I guess, that I was stressed about. And what else? What else? What else? What else? Yeah, I think it's pretty good. Yeah, so not a whole lot to report. So that's the tenets stuff. All right, so now it's a lot of PR reviews. This is by far the hardest thing I ever do on stream to actually be entertaining for, but it needs to be done. It's just too hard to focus on the contents of a PR and like the context in my head that I need to review it properly and also kind of talk about everything. Okay, so here's the context that chat needs for this, which is Darkstorm made the battle system, and then I provided feedback on Friday. And I think over the weekend, Darkstorm said, "Hey, I changed some things, but why don't you take over, Adam, and clean up anything that still remains?" So we're gonna take a look through the comments I left and read the responses, and then we're gonna take a look through the code and then see what needs to be changed, and probably apply some of that. Doing some PRs in parallel. Yeah, doing PRs is not like it's a super hard task, I'd say. It's just, and it's not like coding so bad either, but coding, at least I can speak out loud while I'm doing it. With a PR, unless I don't know, it's hard to say what it is I'm thinking as I'm doing it. All right, so let's see. It could be helpful to have a texture set in the base scene so we can see how this looks. Yeah, this was minor. So I should probably go make sure this is done. Let's go to file changes, and then also GHPR list. I should not have any changes right now, right? No, I don't. And if I get pull, I shouldn't have anything. Yep. All right, so GHPR checkout 40. All right. Now we restart, reload this. Whoa, what happened to Godot? There it is. All right, so we should see a change in the entity scene. Let's go pull that up. Entity. That's not entity. What's going on? Oh, right, it was renamed as well. I don't know what it was renamed to, so let's just look through the scene list. Battler. Yeah. All right, so there should be a texture here, and there is. So yeah, it looks good. We can just resolve this change. Hard to give viewers a context, yeah. Although even with code, that's true. At least with code, I can kind of still talk about something. The PR, it's definitely harder. Did that do anything? Yeah, it did. Okay. I think it's generally easier to do with the texture progress bar. Okay, let's take a look at that. That was also in the scene, and this should now just be a texture progress bar. Yeah, it has an under and an over thing. I like this way of doing things, and I think this makes sense. And it should be pretty much the same code as what we saw here. So I'm going to mark this as resolved as well. Hey, Jost. All right, next up, I believe this is in seconds, misplaced summary. Yeah, so that was on ability cooldown clock, which actually doesn't exist. I believe it's part of an active ability now. Yeah, and then there was something in seconds, the cooldown, this. Yeah, so this is now in seconds. And the passed in cooldown is in milliseconds. Wait a second. Passed in cooldown. Where does this get set? Private. Oh, this is public though. I see. So this must be set somewhere. Yeah. I'm fine with this. I'm not gonna be so like super nitpicky about this, but I think if we're going to convert it to seconds anyway, it'd probably make more sense to just write it in seconds. So like 1.5 comma 3.5. But yeah, what does it matter? But yeah, we're never going to use the granularity of like hundredths of a second. Oh, well, maybe not never, but it's probably going to be pretty rare that we do that. Anyway, this looks good. So resolve this. Important that we don't check in dead code. You can see a function length is being used. So this was the normalized thing. Tend to use the abilities, represent a progress bar. Forgot to remove this. So I'm guessing this is now gone. Normal. Yeah, it's gone. All right, resolve this too then. All right. For some reason I thought effects you apply damage over time, merge it into active ability. So active ability now contains what used to have just the cooldown stuff. What is this little suggestion here? Change it to replace this with a generic handler. Okay. Okay. What does ability have? Owner. Ooh, this should not be here. Why is this here? We set this, and we do this to get the team. Yeah, I don't think this should be here. I know why this was done, but I think that the battle system should be passing in the user of the ability when it gets used, because the owner will have a reference to the ability, so the ability doesn't also need a reference back to the owner. I'm gonna need to write some notes to myself. I don't think base ability should have owner. I don't think battle system should have set next target. Battler target equals set next target. Okay, this isn't set next target because this has no side effects, right? No, it just returns. So this is more like get next target now. Current one is still alive and exists. Current oh no, there is a target in here, and the ability has it. Where does that come from? Active ability has a target. Ah. Yeah, I don't think this should be here either. Okay, so active ability shouldn't have a target. And then what do we use the owner for here? We should know. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna, okay, I'll change some of this stuff around. For now, I guess I'll resolve this. I'm gonna end up making some changes. I don't know if I should write anything in the comments for this. No, I'll just resolve this for now. Okay, what's this next one? Class has a bunch of logic that I think belongs elsewhere. Wrote another comment about updating abilities should be done by a system. Coming up with targets should be done by the abilities themselves. Taking and dealing damage should probably be the responsibility of the battle system. And what was this? This was entity, which is, yeah, it doesn't exist anymore. Abilities are now updated only by ability system. I actually think the target should be supplied by battle system. My opinion, battle system should be responsible for picking targets and damaging them, and that way the ability is a bit more clean and is only responsible for supplying the battle system with its instance. Also, I don't know how to feel about passing references around, and idle ascendants who are passing battle window to abilities, when in this case would mean passing the entire instance scene to abilities. Here, abilities are standalone, classes in a component. I know that just passing everything to active ability would make it easier, but does it make sense to expose everything to it? I also assume the components should not communicate with any external components or classes. So I think this is an interesting point. I think what's important that we need here is there are going to be any number of abilities that we have. So like a basic one could be something like Fireball, which is just pick an enemy target, deal damage, possibly inflict a status effect, like a burn status effect or something like that. So this is a pretty straightforward ability. But now imagine that there was something like there was a forest, and in the forest it could rain. So you had like a rainy forest. So now something at some point needs to figure out, are you in this situation? And where should that code go? And probably it should be part of what Fireball figures out. So you'd have something like, you know, damage equals random number between, who knows, 3 and 4. And a target equals random enemy. And so you could imagine code like this in Fireball. And then you'd say something like target.deal damage or something along these lines, right? Damage. But then you might want something here like if instance dot is rainy, then damage divided by equal to 2. And so if like the other ways you could potentially do this is you could have a system that tags damage to figure out like, okay, there's not only a damage number, but there's a damage source or damage flags or something. And this could be like is affected by rainy, and there could be a callback. And so I think there are a number of ways to do this. And I wonder what's going to make it easiest for us to just kind of develop abilities. Multiple designs will work in the end. Still have to pass battler to the base ability because the active ability will never know where to pull targets from. So battle system can filter battlers by ability, owner, opposing team, or the same team if we decide to add a healing ability. 3 ways of doing this as I see it, and while all of them work, I just don't know which one will be the best. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's definitely true that multiple designs will work here. What do I want to say exactly? I think that passing the context to each ability keeps the ability's logic in a single place, which is desirable since we'll probably have lots of abilities. As we code the abilities, we'll be able to see which patterns emerge so that we can improve the code. Yeah. All right, so I'll need to take a look at that script again. Make sure I look at battler. Look at battler. Okay, I'm going to resolve this conversation. Next, should probably be done via signal on health component. Change health component to raise events on health change, revive, death, so that battler can handle the life bar. This way, battler only contains the event handlers and take damage. Also had to move add component up the execution chain because ability system was not able to access the components because they were not ready yet. Okay, that part I'm going to need to look into, but let's look at health component first. There should now be, there's on health changed, on health empty, and on health restore. I think I'd probably change on health empty to on died. Yeah. Which is like a minor refactoring. I'll just write this down, but I'm not probably going to change it here. On health empty, so minor stuff to on died. And then what's the other one? On health restore. This is technically revive. Probably rename restore. Because, so to me, where is it? On health changed is either taking damage or healing. But then on health restore, I would assume is just healing. The way it's coded here is actually the revive case where your life is set to 1. So yeah, just a naming thing. It's not a big concern or anything. Yeah, now this moving it up the execution chain. So let's take a look at that. So we have add component. Ready to enter tree. Enter tree should only have been, yeah, here it is. So battler has this. Since we don't have player sheet for now, just hard code the health until we get a proper, yeah, that's fine. So this gets added. For this, the battler has a health component and abilities component. Godot, enter tree versus ready. I just want to take a look at this. Let's just find the documentation. What is it called? Oh, there it is. Okay. Newly added scene will receive the enter tree notification in top to bottom order, and then it'll receive ready notification once all of it have received the ready one. I want to find So it connects to a parent. So it has add child has to have been called. Ready always happens after enter tree. Enter tree can happen multiple times. A node can exit and enter multiple times. Ready only happens once. So if we ever removed a battler from a battle, I guess we could have that happen. Tree ready order. Okay, I want to understand this a little bit better. Ability system was not able to access the components because they weren't ready yet. That's the part that doesn't make sense to me. Yeah. Let's run this and see what happens. So let's go to the title screen and hit the play button here. I think it should look the same way it looked before, where we see one battle playing out with 9 entities on each side. Yeah. So I'm assuming this is all going to work just fine. Yeah. Hey, Fritz, thanks for the raid. And welcome in, everybody. We're working on Skeleseller. Today is what, day 7, I think. So I'm reviewing PRs right now. There's one other developer working on this, and the PR that he submitted was for the battle system that we're looking at right now. And so here, you might have seen this. There were some damage numbers flying up. What was I just checking, though? It was, oh yeah, why do we need to do this in a particular place? So, oh, hey, Atomic Man. So if you're curious about what this whole game is about, there's a tiny FAQ there. I can't easily show stuff because I'm in the middle of reviewing a PR right now. So unfortunately, I'll have to leave it to that. At some point, I'll probably make a trailer. But yeah, welcome in. Let me know if you have any questions. I hope your stream went well, Fritz. Hey, Zaphoid. Thank you for the resub. Listening to a code review while doing one myself. Yeah. Yeah. You're like 3 layers deep in code reviews. So if we were to put this in here, what does this do? So if I just move this down here, this is getting the health component of what? Oh, this is setting it in the class itself. Oh, we shouldn't do that probably. But I need to do this here, I guess. Okay. Added search and updates to our news website. Nice, 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 nice. Yeah. Have you looked into the YouTube quota thing again? I recognize this probably isn't high on your priority list, but I was curious if you got the approved quota. Okay, so if I just do this and I move this to a different function, does this still work the same way? We might start noticing some errors here. So I'm just gonna keep an eye on the debugger tab. Whoops, this is the wrong window. Haven't looked into it. Yeah. Yeah, I figured there would be something higher priority than that. Well, good luck getting it done in the next, I guess, couple of days, right? Yeah. Okay, so null reference exception.
Whoops.
This is, I think, what Darkstorm was talking about. And where is this happening from? So battle system ready, null reference exception. Why does it keep doing that? I just want to see. I want to see the stack trace. There we go. All right, so where are you? Script methods. Battle system 21. There it is. Yeah, it was funny seeing the comments in that video that I made because a bunch of people were like, yeah, I've struggled with this stuff too. Yeah, this was tedious. And if you care about a product, you would look at that feedback and you'd be like, wow, we should probably do something about this. But yeah, I don't think the care is there on Google's side, or at least not in that way. I think they very much care about YouTube, but just not the live streaming API development experience. Okay, so this is happening from ability. We go through all the abilities and set on cooldown finish, and this is null, I suppose. So we add an abilities component. And this is set with this. But the abilities aren't initialized till here. Where does this happen? The battler scene gets instantiated. Then we init it. And then we add it to the list of battlers. And where is this being called from? Create battlers? Where's that called from? Here, in create instance. And where's create instance called from? In ready. Okay. All right. So how does this all work? Title screen. In ready, we call create instance. Create instance calls create battlers. Create what happened? Calls create battlers. Create battlers calls battler.init. I'll just copy this over. Create battlers does this, and then this and this. There we go. The Monday morning standard code review day. 2 chatters also doing it. I think it's probably just a good point to get all this stuff unclogged for people starting their week. And who knows, maybe somebody did work over the weekend or something, so you've actually got a review to look at. I remember a long time ago, I was getting like a training on testing, and someone said that as a tester, you would learn how developers end up making bugs in ways that the developers themselves don't tend to realize. So for example, maybe a developer makes more bugs on Thursday night or something like that. I thought that's a pretty interesting way of looking at things, that you would notice these patterns because you're the one spotting the bugs and then filing them. And if you did notice a pattern like, wow, I tend to code more bugs on a Friday or something, then you probably don't want to be coding on a Friday. Or maybe it's the opposite. I make more bugs when I code more. Yes, you should just stop coding altogether. That sounded overly mean. I meant it as a joke. I feel bad, Amy. Plus 5 minutes on the next session. Hey, Bob. All right. So create battlers will init the battler. Initting the battler will set the abilities. And then we get in this case. Now, why would this be true though? This is the part I don't understand. How is this null? This shouldn't even be here. That's why. Well, I don't think so, at least. We're checking to see if an ability's cooldown finishes. So what order do we call ready in? And move components into entry tree because right now the characters are instantiated with the instance, which has the ability system, can't access components sent ready. Change once we create characters in town. Oh, okay. I was gonna say I don't think we should need this eventually, and that's the part where you're saying they shouldn't be needed, is because we'll create these from somewhere else. All right. Yeah, and hey, Darkstorm. That offset when you're error prone to make a new extra bug day Wednesday. I don't think this is an exact science, and I know it's probably not a serious question, but I think if you do notice patterns in when you tend to make bugs. So actually what I've noticed is my code quality when I'm tired drops. And I don't know how significantly it drops, but I do notice that I'm just less productive and just need to wait. That's it. Doesn't matter if I want to write code then. Like I should just do something else. Like, you know, some mindless task. I think it's good to be aware of that stuff. By the way, that's probably true for most people. As you get tired, your performance and probably anything drops. And so for some things, it doesn't matter. Like if you're, you know, washing dishes or whatever, then like, yeah, sure, you can do that while you're tired. But if you're trying to perform surgery, you probably should hold off. I still want to just kind of untangle this for a sec. Oh, no audio. I'll just watch and read the captions. Okay, yeah. Quality cannot drop further when I'm tired. Maybe. All right. Yeah, let's hold off on this for now then. Let's go back to wherever I put this stuff. Yeah, put this back up here. Okay, I'll copy this. Yeah, I'm gonna just comment this here and then resolve this conversation for now. Probably make use of update rendered texture for this line. Okay, so this was in Battler, and this was setting the texture. So wherever we have instance, yeah, this. Yeah, it's even in a comment up here. It was about not having the player sheet, but this was here even before that, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I think it was there before that. But yeah, I don't fully remember. Hey, Kaiser. I just want to try and learn code again. Kind of pigeonholed to Python when I did live ops infrastructure stuff. Yeah, I think this can be kind of true for anything you learn. If you're learning it in a way that you're forced to do it somehow, and it's not the way you want to do it, you can lose interest. And I kind of, the first example that comes to mind is I think a lot of times parents want their kids to do something and like really push for it, but the kid wants to explore in a certain way, and then the kid loses interest, and the parents are like, well, there's a hobby I can never share with my kids or a profession or something like that. So yeah, definitely give it another shot. Try it out, see what you think. Okay, this looks fine. I think that tracking which team a battler is on is something the battle can do itself, or battler can do itself. But I think the opposing team should be something the battle system figures out. Yeah. And I think this would be good. Get opposing team is something, the way I was thinking about this is it would return the team itself and not just the team tag. But yeah, we might need this too. Hey, Mudkip. All right, I'm going to resolve this too. Move this into Battler, and this is now handled through an event in the Revived Battler, also named Revived or Restored, and have a better name, serves two purposes. Resets ability cooldowns and sets life to 1 if the battler was dead. Actually, where does that happen? This isn't done if it was dead. Yeah, I think it's done no matter what. Yeah, it's done no matter what. The restore is commented out anyway for now. We need to figure out how to move the battle to a new room. This will most likely require some kind of timeout to first show the room to the player for like a second or two and then raise battle start. Yeah. Okay. So let me read the rest of this and then let me look through the code. Address all changes, agree with almost all of them, had mixed feelings about what should damage the target. Well, we have idle ascendance code. I'm having troubles figuring out how to make things work in a similar way I did there because I never tried GD scripts. I couldn't really follow. Okay, got it. Yeah. I went with the decision of making the battle system be responsible for picking targets and damaging them. Reason for this is that I wanted active abilities to only run their clock and raise events. Initial ability cooldown clock was merged in with active ability. Suggestion: active ability has a reference of battler, but it's only used by a battle system to determine if it should jump to another target. Battle system is subscribed to all. How many abilities, I wonder, are going to target the same target? And actually, is that an idea that is interesting? So abilities and idle ascendance just targeted random stuff every time. And I was thinking of keeping this for Skeleseller. Would it be interesting to have abilities that target something specific? Like sticky, pick a random target and then stick to it. I guess that doesn't really need to be in quotes. Like target highest life, target, obviously it's pretty self-explanatory, and target lowest life and whatever else. These are things though that I think the ability should decide. Probably decide this. Yeah. Check instance code. Yeah, I see. Yeah. Okay. Use home row mods or any for your current corn? So are you typing so quickly without any problem like latency or delay? I don't. No. I use one-shot mods. And that's part of the reason I do not like dual function keys, because you tend to have to hold them for a little bit longer than you really want to make sure that you've done it correctly. So just the base layer is just letters. And so in order to get modifiers, you see these OS GUI and OS alt. And I mean, it's in the video that I did about this in the one I just linked. But if I turn on the lights for the keyboard, you can see if I press one of these keys, it'll turn yellow. And so now this means that command is activated, and I'm in an empty buffer. So if I press W, for example, it'll just close the buffer. And now this is no longer lit up yellow. So by doing things this way, I could enable all 4 modifiers, for example, and now they're just lit up. And if I were to press another key, it would consume them, and now they're not lit up anymore. So yeah, I prefer that way of doing things. Oh, instance has restore? But this doesn't check if they're dead. Yeah, this doesn't check if they're dead. This just gets, oh, unless this is, no, yeah, this doesn't check if they're dead. Like the 1 pixel difference in Ramy's line. All right. By the way, why is this restore dead player battlers? Wait, am I missing something here? This checks if they're dead. I see. Okay, it's not instance that does it, it's battler that does it. Yeah. Gotcha. Okay, Darkstorm's probably in the middle of typing that, assuming that they read the captions. Yeah. Uncommon and create one more player. No, right. I got it. All right, so active abilities off cooldown, raise on cooldown finished. Battle system checks the active ability from past event args and decides if the new target should be changed if the target is dead. Battle system will abort if there are no targets. And we'll call take damage on the selected target with damage. Okay, so I think what I want to change some of this to is active ability should probably have a use command and no clock. The battle should call this. The ability itself is, no, I guess it's not just, well, I'll take a look at that. I still need to read through the code. I'll take damage since being stored there anyway. With this, the ability will only raise event that the target was dead or null, and the battle system resets the target. Easy way to abort this. Okay, main reason why I went with my suggestion is that I need something similar in another PvP project. Ability inside battle system. So I went with a quick way of storing a reference. Okay. Hey, Poppy. All right, so I'm gonna read through the code. I'm gonna try to do this somewhat quickly because there is quite a lot I've already looked through. So is there a way to just see the ones that changed since last time? File, filter, all commits. Show changes since your last review. Here we go. Okay, this shouldn't have been a change since the last review as far as I know. Well, maybe this came in through main or something. Anyway, that doesn't matter. I don't care about that. I don't really care about the scene either. That's okay. Don't care about the scene of this. Those were deleted. So, okay, active ability got some changes here. It now keeps track of damage, cooldown, time elapsed, target. Okay, I think I'm going to end up changing this. Active ability. Examine whether this should more closely resemble idle ascendance. Yeah, so that's kind of just a blanket statement I'm going to make for that one. And then base ability has an owner. I think I'm going to get rid of that. Basic attack. So yeah, I think This means basic attack should have its own target fetching logic. Okay. What is this? Abilities component. So we set an owner in here, can update abilities. Yeah. The abilities themselves, and then reset all ability cooldowns. By the way, what does it mean to reset a cooldown? It means setting it to 0. Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, because I was gonna say that the way I was used to doing things was setting the time to the reset, and then, but this works totally fine. And I've already said this before. I think this is good. Okay. This I will probably end up getting rid of, an abilities component. Take another look at abilities component. I don't know about can update abilities. And this has a setter, which I think this is fine. Yeah. All right, health component. Do we use all of these? Is something I want to look into. Health component. So we have on health change. That should be for the life bar. Yep, that's fine. And then on death handle and on, what does death handle do? Can update abilities false. Update render texture false. This sets it to the pile of bones thing. Turn off the life bar. And on battler death dot invoke. What is this? Oh, this checks to see if the, yeah, okay. That's, I think that's good. Okay, now ability system. So I got to still look through ability system, battle system, battler. Look through ability system, battler, battle system. Instance has on battle started. This is invoked from ready. Enable entity processing in the ability system. Is battle in progress? I see. Here in process. Okay. All right. I want to take a look at that too. And then title screen, I think we can ignore. Yeah, and then what is this? Active ability event args. I see. Okay. All right, so what are the three things I want to look at? Ability system. Let's go take a look at that. Okay, so we're getting all nodes with ability components. Oh, and we're assuming that they're battlers. Okay. I mean, they possibly will be. I wonder where we need it to be a battler. We technically don't. Yeah, we technically don't. This could just be any node. Yeah. All right. So in ability system process doesn't need battlers specifically. This is the purpose of the entity component system is we don't care about entity types. We care about what has a particular component. So in this case, battlers have abilities components or ability component or whatever it's called. But they don't have to be the only ones that have it. And a system only needs to concern itself with entities that have all of a set of components that we need. So it could keep track of the fact that they're in battle. Hey, RNY over on YouTube. Doesn't need battlers specifically. They could just be nodes. Yeah. Probably should be for now. All right, anything else with the ability system? So we go through each ability, and if it can't update this, then otherwise update this here. And then yeah, if it hits 0 is where I want to process that the ability got used. So we could have the battle system listen for that and pass in the ability, and then call use on the ability. I think that part's fine. Yeah, Alucard. I think mostly Lurker. What's my rationale behind using ECS? So my thought for this was, I don't like it when you have inheritance for something and you end up with this like this behavior tree that you want that doesn't settle in correctly. I'll give you a kind of an easy example here. Let's say you have, I don't know, a player character. They have health and they can do damage. And you have a tree and that has health, but it doesn't have a damage thing. And maybe you have something else that just does damage and has no health, like a spike that just does damage. And it's like, when you look at the properties of these things, you essentially want to plug in just a health component for these two things and just a damage component for these two things. And if you were to do this the inheritance way, you end up with like a damaging entity and like a health entity or something like that, or you have properties that go unused, or you end up using composition. Like ECS is one way of doing composition here. I think ECS accomplishes two things, by the way. One is cache coherence, and the other is, and we're not doing this right now. And the other is the like composition way of approaching this. So essentially, I just wanted there to be a composition approach with this. I think it makes sense for a lot of games, and I think it should make the code a little bit clearer. My name is Ethan. Well, hi, Ethan. I'm going to end up calling you by your YouTube name because that way other people can know who I'm talking to. Because imagine if, you know, I was looking at Meow Meow and I was like, hey, whatever name, Amanda or something, right? You'd be like, who is that I'm talking to? What language is that? The language of this is C#. How can you make symbols? You mean with this keyboard? Because I have a symbol layer, and when I enter that, I can type symbols. And if I'm not in that layer, I just type letters. Could you not make a health component scene and a damage component scene? And they have exported members that you set? Yeah, you can. And so that's essentially another way of doing this through composition. And I just happen to compose them through components and then have systems act on those components. So I think the scenes that you're talking about, at some point, like if you think about it, any behavior is going to be some data and some logic. And so for health, it might be the data is pretty obvious. It's like the data is life and max life and whatever else you might have. And then the logic is something like it's probably handled elsewhere. So maybe there's some like battle system that handles it, or there's like a farming system, or imagine wood cutting, so you can do damage to a tree. So it's probably handled elsewhere. And I think this can work, and I just think it might become harder to do certain things and then easier to do others. So yeah, maybe I'm shooting myself in the foot by applying the ECS that we did to this. Okay, so what did we look through? We looked through all the ability system, I think. Yeah, so what I was thinking about here is the ability system has... Oh, also this shouldn't even be called process battler. This is not a battle system. Shouldn't be called process battler. So this calls update cooldown. Update cooldown can eventually emit a signal. On cooldown finished, and on cooldown finished is listened to by the battle system. And we have attack target here. This takes in the ability itself. Okay, yeah. So I see why Dark did things this way. I think what I want a function here eventually. I want a function in battle system that knows when an ability is finished and gets the entity, the ability. It's the ability that should be used and the entity that should use it. And its ability system that should raise that event. So this has the entity, and when we call update cooldown, we need to listen to this. Active ability does, yeah. So ability system should listen for ability cooldowns and then pair the ability and entity and send it to the battle system. And at that point, it makes me think, okay, what is this system gonna do? And if it's literally just modify cooldowns of abilities, then we should probably just throw this into a battle. Yeah, I think we end up deleting this because everything that this is concerned with, it has on battle started, on battle won, on battle lost. It has process battler, and it checks to see if battles are in progress. Everything this system is doing is based on battles. So it essentially is the battle system. So yeah, I think we should get rid of this. But then the ability system is only doing things based on battles. So we should probably just put it into the battle system. Is C# over GDScript a preference? Yeah, it is. I don't think there's anything that you need C# for. So it'll always be a preference from people. And there are things right now that you need GDScript for. So if you're trying to make a web game, you have to pick GDScript right now, or you have to pick Godot 3. So that's the only thing that I think you'd have to pick one language over the other. But for everything else, it should just be interchangeable. And eventually they're going to fix this. So if you want to do a web export, you could do it with C#. It's just not possible right now. But yeah, it's just a preference. I guess I'm jumping into the conversation halfway. How to implement health components and damage components in Godot. Maybe you were, I'm not sure. I was trying to answer this question, which is, does anyone know what's the rationale behind using ECS? No, Darkstorm, don't worry about it. I'll tackle this and we can see, you can take a look at what's different about this stuff. But I hope you see what I'm saying about this, which is if any code is only ever acting on another class entirely, it should probably just be part of that class. So if you ever have something like class foo, and there's, public void bar, or do something, whatever, I don't know. Do something only involving bar B, and it does like B dot something, yeah, do something, B dot do something else. It's like, this is a pretty good sign. This should just be a method on bar. So in this case, we have ability system that only acts on battle stuff. So it should just be the battle system. What's ECS? It is entity component system. And so in this case, typically what it would mean is entities are just data, or sorry, entities are just IDs. Components are just data, and systems are logic that act on entities with certain components. It's pretty much writing it out. And that's sort of what we've done here. Godot does things a little bit differently because Godot already has the concept of nodes, and nodes compose any other nodes that they might have in their scene tree. So I think a good example of this that we have is, imagine this target location component. This is literally just a vector 2 and a signal for when it reaches the target. So this is a component that has some data and no logic whatsoever. This is just a signal to be able to connect to it, but it doesn't have any tracking code or anything like that. Instead, there's a navigation system that we have, and the navigation system checks any entities that have this component. So it's saying, give me all the entities with this, and then I'll process them by actually doing the logic here. Is the new line before curly brace a new revelation? This is just how our style thing does it. I think it's a convention in C#. So I think most C# coders would just do this and not question it. I don't really like it, but that's totally fine. I'm very, very much less opinionated when it comes to automatic formatting because like I can code however I want, which is still like this. And then when I hit save, it saves it the way that we have consistently. Is it ReSharper? I don't think this is using ReSharper. I think the actual analysis is done by Sonar and something else. And then the formatting is done by C#ier, I want to say. I'm not totally sure. This is looking an awful lot like object-oriented programming. So I think the big difference is in object-oriented programming, you typically do things based on inheritance. That's not entirely true, but I think this is generally what people think about when they think object-oriented programming. Technically, it just means basing things on objects and storing data and methods inside of instances of a class. But then typically, since you have classes, you could use inheritance, which, like I said, it's not technically always part of object-oriented programming. And so there's the classic, inheritance versus composition. And I don't think you should ever always pick one over the other. The classic saying is prefer composition over inheritance, but a lot of times inheritance makes sense. And it's not like you have to exclusively use one system over another. Rarely see inheritance being needed. I don't necessarily think it's a case of being needed because it's just code, right? So you could say something like, I've never seen a case of a while loop being needed. And it's like, yeah, every for loop you could write as a while loop, and every while loop you could write as a for loop. So I think having options as a developer is fine and letting you use what paradigms make sense for you. So lots and lots of GUI systems I've seen are very inheritance based. And in a lot of different languages and in gaming systems, like Java's entire thing with what aught and swing and whatever. Actually Godot's thing as well. I think typically you'll see a lot of UI tools using inheritance. There's the pianist reverse composition. So doesn't React take a strong stance against object-oriented programming? React is... So React used to have the more object-oriented approaches and started going the functional route. But I also think it's a little different because it's not a language, it's a framework within a language. So it's like you can be much more opinionated there. I think if you're making a language, you shouldn't necessarily preclude people from doing certain things. Object-oriented programming is encompassing data. I think, okay, with a lot of these terms, it means many different things. And I think at its base, which probably everybody can agree on, is it's like making objects. So that's the object-oriented part of it. And typically this means, like I said, instances of a class. And for a lot of people, typically what this means is applying inheritance, but that's not necessarily part of it. So what do these things mean? Yes, it means encompassing data, well, encapsulating data is typically what you'd say. So having some data and having some logic exist inside of a class. Yeah. Think of an ID as an index to an array where there are arrays that only contain certain component data. I don't really think of it that way, I guess. The index of an array part. I guess I just see entities are they're just bundles of components and nothing more. And so that's it. And so systems at some point say like, I want entities with a health component and an abilities component or something like that. And like this system might be the battle system. And there might be a crafting system which says something like, I want entities with, I don't know, with an is item component and something else. I don't know what. You consider objects first and foremost in your design. Yeah, that's the oriented part. That your system is oriented around objects. So we looked at ability system. Let's look at battler now. So we have quite a lot in here that I want to see if this all belongs. Like we keep track of an instance here. Why do we do this? Oh, we don't do this for any reason. All right. Get rid of the instance inside of Battler. Take damage is also inside Battler. I think the battle system should be doing this. Yeah. Battle system, take damage should be inside the system, not the Battler. Yeah. Okay, and then the battle system itself. We have attack target here. Set next target. Yeah, get opposing team. Okay, yeah. Battle system, and then the other shifts that I described should cover the battle system. That it looks a little different. They just say use class or struct. I see. Yeah. I agree. Yeah. Yeah, that's how Godot nodes work, right? You can make a character body 2D node with a sprite 2D child and a shape and maybe an area 2D. Yes, exactly. You're right. And so this is where I was saying ECS in general, and again, for those who don't know ECS, Entity Component System, I think provides two things. Cache coherence, which is all of your memory is laid out typically contiguously, and that systems that act on those then don't need to go out to like your RAM to get what they need to get. And then also the sort of composition structure and applying behaviors to things. And so Godot does not have a system based on an entity component system. So it's like you won't get cache coherence unless you code it yourself. So Godot has this concept of just composing nodes, and you could still maybe this is already clear, but I guess what I could say here is like you can write bad code and still get a good result. So for example, I could say something like public int sum int a, or like add to 5. And I could code something like this. If a equals 1, return 6. And so on and so forth. You could technically write in all whatever 2 billion integers here, right? And you would have a function that hopefully your compiler is going to optimize. But like you could write something like this, and this would do what you want, but it's not maintainable and it's not flexible. And so I think the reason why I went with this ECS is I've kind of seen what happens when you start making all of your logic in one area. It becomes easy to keep adding more and more logic to that area. And then a year down the line, you've got all this logic that's kind of a tangled mess. And again, your game could still work. You could have that tangled mess and still have a game. And a lot of games have released, not a lot, some games have released like a class or some code. And they're like, here's what we had for Celeste, for example. Celeste, I think they released their code for the main character and like what they used to control it. And I think it looked like a tangled mess. And yet Celeste is a great game. So what does that mean? and yeah, I think there's one other thing that I want to share here, and then I probably should move on, and I should especially take a break, which is there's one other, how do I say this? Streaming coding. I think people just assume that whatever I'm doing is the best at whatever I'm trying to do. And so this is true sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, this is a well thought out thing that I want to be able to maintain for a year. And sometimes I am prototyping and I'm purposely cutting corners. And sometimes I researched, there are maybe 5 possible options, and I researched 2, and then I decided on one of them. And as a viewer, you can't know which one I'm going through at the time. Yeah, good grief, look at this file. Yeah, this is more than 1,000 lines, right? Oh no, this is way more than that. Yeah, it's like 5,000 lines. And if you think about it, this is if you were new to the Celeste code base and you're like, where do I add some code? You probably can't easily figure it out by looking at this. You'd be like, I'm afraid to touch any of this. Are there tests for this? Will I know if I broke something? And yet, if you type Celeste Steam and you look at this little number on the right side here, you see overwhelmingly positive 83,000 reviews. So yeah, in the end, you have to ask yourself, does this matter? And sometimes the answer is yes, and sometimes the answer is no. You can only refactor if you have unit tests. I mean, you probably should only refactor, but you certainly could refactor without unit tests. Yeah, dialogues being a huge switch case. Yeah. Yeah. So what I think the sort of end conclusion from this entire conversation is I'm doing what I think is a good idea. And it's a combination of like code maintainability and being able to make progress. So there are probably tons of people out there who are like, I'm going to make the best code and just make the system perfect. And they just spend time making systems and they never release a product. And it's because at some point you got to move forward. You're making what you consider to be perfect production ready code. Yeah, so no, not the point of this. It's to make good code and pretty much never try to pursue perfect above all else. Okay, so I think this is reviewed. I think we can merge this, and I think there are a bunch of changes that I want to make. So I'll save I'll save all of this now for post break. End up both without a product and still with bad code. Yeah, and I think this is another key thing that people need to realize, which is lots of people learn most from making mistakes. And if you don't even make the mistake, if you're being too cautious about things, like you don't even release your product, then yeah, what are you going to learn? And let's say you do this. This is why I think things like Ludum Dare are so good, because this forces you to make a game in what, like 2 days or something, 3 days? I don't remember how long they give you, but anyway, like 2 to 3 days. And for most people, that is nuts. And so you do this and you realize, wow, like I have the ability to make something when I'm trying to release and get done in a timeline. And then you can apply that to the rest of your coding that you do. So I think if people were just like, hey, how do I get better at coding? I'd say, well, for one, code, use all these resources you have, but also try to launch something. It doesn't need to be that you try to make money off of it. It doesn't need to be that you try to get a bunch of users. But in launching something, you'll realize that there's a lot of work that goes into it and that you've made mistakes along the way and you do things differently the next time. And that's going to be the motivation for you to actually change things the next time around. To be like, I want to avoid those mistakes I made the last time. Yeah. All right. I'm going to take a quick break. You can all play Jump Royale. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Every once in a while I give this intro, but if you haven't seen this before, type join to play and then J and a number to jump. I'll be back in a few minutes. All right, hey everyone. To answer a couple questions, so what coordinate system in Unis is the angle in? So you can join right now, for example, and see if you type J45, it'll move up and to the right. So it's degrees, and then J negative 45 is up and to the left. And then getting blocked by Twitch messages, you can always type something like J1 and then J1 and then literally like the word trash afterward, and then, you know, just A, B, 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 whatever you want. Right. Thought 90 was straight up. No, yeah. Originally, that's what I had done. There's a video about this somewhere. Close the game. Why did that not work? There we go. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there's a video I did somewhere. Adam learns jump. Let's see if that works. Adam learns to jump. Wow. What a great thing. Where's the video I want? This one. Yeah, this, I mean, this isn't, you know, a direct answer to your question or anything, but you might find this video interesting. Yeah, an infographic on the screen. Yeah, it's something that was on my to-do list for a while, and I just never got around to it, so I eventually deleted it. I just figured, people play and they'll learn, and then they'll probably try a second time, and then they'll just know at that point. But yeah, I know it can be clearer. Okay, so I think we merge this. And no conflicts, change requested. Wait, do I need to like settle that? How do I don't remember how to, what does that button do? Whoops, oh, darn it. No, I don't know what I just clicked. Awaiting request, whatever, I'm just merging this. I don't think we need to do anything, just confirm. Hey, Trackley. Okay, how do we stop this? I don't know how I don't know how we cut out that review that I requested. I don't know. Oh well. Yeah, well, whoops. All right, let's move on. So the next thing, I think there was another PR. Yeah, add item provider. And I already left some comments on this. Let me take a look at what they were. All right, didn't fully understand what provider means. Implemented a dictionary. It'll just instantiate itself. Let me know if this is fine. I see. I thought you assigned a flag to the item on spawn. Makes sense. Do you mean instead we should just pass item ID to create and store item data? I need to see an example. I pushed a change. I don't know if that's what you mean. As for value, my suggestion, rename value to base value. Use value. Yep, that's totally fine. Maybe we could use a state for this. If the item is in the restock state for too long, set is discount flag. Yeah, I think we're going to need something like this in the game, which is items that don't sell. Maybe you need to lower the price on them. Not positive, though. The first thing that came to mind is just to debug my new. What is your suggestion? Yep, that's totally fine. I think it's fine if we store related types of systems and features. Yeah. Okay. Final comment. Since we had 3 item categories and only used 2, I added the remaining armor shop to the tile map and a new scene. The helmet sign was combined. Oh, nice. Redrawn with matching palette. Cool. Yeah. Important, look into customer wander. We had to figure out something for the state transition where customers still have money. When they still have money, but the items are too expensive, they just wander around indefinitely. I changed it earlier to match the lowest item price. They still fall in between 1 to 3, so I reverted it. It's out of scope anyway. Yeah, this is pretty good. Hey, Smo. Yeah, hope you win. Okay, so let's look at the changes since my last review. Okay, where's this helmet sign? I want to take a look at it. There it is. Wow, that's really good. Yeah, neat. Pretty good. All right, so array extensions. We have a static random, and we just use random to next. I think this is good. Yeah. I haven't seen that syntax. What is that? What is this doing in a parameter? Declaring, oh, extensions. Oh, yeah, of course. Okay. Yeah, I hadn't I hadn't seen the syntax. I knew about extensions. I haven't written one in more than a decade, probably. Axe, cloak, potion. This will work for now. The thing that I'm thinking about here is normally I store all this somewhere on disk, and what I kind of wonder is like we could have an items.json, and it could just be an object of IDs like axe to the properties of it. Yep, something like this just to make something up. But this is fine for now. All right, so try get value. No item data found for the item. Otherwise, return item data. Yep, this is good. All right, the folders I'm not going to look at too closely. I think this is fine. Item ID, axe, cloak, potion. Yep, and those match these, right? Yep. Excuse me. All right, so this is the part I wanted to change. So I'll probably make this change. Create item.item ID. The item maybe should know its own ID. Maybe the data should know that ID. Yeah, I think the item at least needs to know it. That part's fine. But then these I want to change a little bit. Probably get rid of Atlas chords. Let me just make sure this makes sense. So constants, yeah, constants. All right, where is that one comment? Have an item point to an item data rather than duplicating fields. Pass item ID to create and store item data. Yeah, I think Darkstorm interpreted this correctly. So I think this is good. Yeah, I think I want to delete the Atlas chords thing. Oh, wait, what's this doing here? All item data.get. Okay, that's probably going to be a little bit different. So item code, all item data. This should be moved. I should just move this right now. Your local changes. What local changes do I have? What did I do? My UID changed. Get checkout game scenes battler. I typed it wrong, but it's just gonna correct it for me. Yeah, so now switch shop.tscn. What's my change there? That shouldn't have even been. What is this? Uh-oh, I don't know what this is. I don't think I should have had changes though at all. So I think we can just revert this. But this is untracked, isn't it? Yeah, it's untracked. Uh-oh. Okay, well, let's just do this then. Let's open this and just save this into temp, I guess, just in case I need this. I don't think I will, but that way I can just delete it. What do you think is best? Keeping all constants in a global constants file or keeping item constants in the item script? Player constants in the player script? I think it depends on how many constants you have. Like, let's say you have, I don't know, player constants and there's like a const default name equals unnamed. Like, yeah, this can just go inside the player script itself instead of this could go in like class Claire. But now let's say you've got, 400 items in your game. You probably don't want that alongside your code because then in order to see any of your methods, you have to scroll down 400 lines. So yeah, I'd put those in their own file. I don't think there's a hard and fast rule for this, by the way. I think if it makes sense, throw it in your class. If it doesn't make sense, then throw it in its separate thing. The nice thing about constants is it doesn't really matter too much where they go because they're constant regardless of where they go. So like, if you define pi at the top of every single one of your files, it's probably just going to get optimized out by the compiler anyway. So yeah, it doesn't really make too much of a difference. Yeah, so I want to make this change, but I could not actually get rid of this. So let's do that. Goodbye. And then switch to main. And then GHPR list, GHPR checkout 48. And I think I should just be able to make these changes myself. So now we go into item.cs. And yeah, all I wanted to change here is this item data should be done in create. Yeah. And then this can be the item ID. Why is this problematic here? Object reference is required for the non-set. Oh, this is static. Whoops. Yeah. Item.item data equals lowercase item ID. Yeah, there we go. All right, then get rid of the atlas chords because I don't think we want that anymore. Yeah. Because this is only ever used from one spot anyway, so we might as well just pull it from item data. I'll do it this way. There we go. And then atlas chords. Because I don't think anything should ever need to fetch that. All right, so item category value looks good. Yeah. And even this, we could have just done like this. And then gotten rid of one extra line here too. You know what? In fact, I think, yeah, I don't really care. Doesn't make too much of a difference. All right, so there's that change that I want to make. I think that might have been it so far. Did I comment on anything else? No, I don't think so. Helmet sign looks good. Oh, you know what? I want to check out what the new setup looks like here. Because now there's an armor shop. I want to see what Darkstorm did because Darkstorm has a way better grasp on visual design than I do. Okay, just a copy of what we had. That's totally fine. All right, so if we add in a bunch of storeroom things and we add items, we should see the cloaks. Yep. And we should see the skeletons going and grabbing cloaks and bringing it to the armor shop. So the odds of them not grabbing one would be pretty low right now. Yeah, there's a cloak. Looks like it's going down to the armor shop. Cool. And if we speed this up a bunch, we should see customers wandering around indefinitely, right? Well, I shouldn't have sped it up that much because now I can't see what the numbers are. They're pretty high. Go, customers. Spend your money. This is a waste of time. I already know that there's a problem because Darkstorm said there's one, so I'll just go fix it at some point. All right, this looks great. This also looks good, but why did this change? Oh, because we were doing item dot before. Okay, that's fine. And then there's a new line here. All right, this technically shouldn't be there. So I'm going to go undo the new line. I know we need to change customer wander. I guess this is if you don't have enough money to buy anything. So how about this? Let's just say if your money is... Oh, we need to delete the customer though, right? You know what we could do, just as a hack for right now, is make it so that when your money is less than, let's say, 5, that it just sets it to 5. Infographic, feel free to steal it. Yeah, sure. Okay, thanks. Add to Jump Royale. Okay. Yeah, I need a button to slow down the rate of simulation. Yeah. Or when you're at max, it just flips back over to 1. I guess I'll write that down here too somewhere. There's a power argument, but it should almost always be set to 100, so there's no real reason to ever change it. Consider making the speed button in the game, set it back to 1 if it was at max. Good customers. All right, I'm going to delete this because I think that line was only added in for the sake of this, and that way it won't be seen as a change, hopefully. And then, yeah, we'll merge this. What are these changes? Oh, come on. I think I messed something up, but we can just discard them all. So the only real change I made was this. And oh, wait. Whoa. What did I do? Did I forget to look over ready again? No, it just sets the redirect. Yeah. Left comments. Yeah. I saw that there are comments. I'll probably take a look at those after the stream, I think. How do we, there we go. All right, so that part's fine. What about this? Item data. Okay, yeah. Okay, we're looking good. All right, so make minor changes. Deleted an empty line and changed where we set item data. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, so we check this in, and now we publish this. This should go into the PR that we just had, right? So that now this should be updated. Does it have my commits now? I don't see it. What did I do? Git remote -v. The remote is right. Yeah, we're on the right branch. Add item provider. Why didn't this show up as my commit here? I just created a branch. Oh, I'm so bad at this. How do I upload my code back to this? I guess I need to take add item provider. Does GHPR checkout not do what I expected? I thought I could just make changes back to that. So my code now exists over here. Yeah. No, I'm not going to close yours. I just want my changes to apply to your PR. Should be able to reference that fork directly. Can I like do that through this somehow? GHPR help. Edit a pull request. Lock, merge, mark, ready, checkout, checks, close comment. I don't know what to do. GitHub, make changes to a PR. Had I not already done this? Oh, could I switch to the PR branch and then merge in the branch I just did? I probably can. Oh, wait a second. Oh, this is a fork? Oh, that's what, okay. I think I understand now what was going on. So wait a sec. Darkstorm, is there a reason why you're doing things this way? Couldn't you just make another branch inside my repo? This works, so you don't need to change anything. Yeah. I need to push to this. So I do need to change my remote. I have permission to do that, right? Let me take a look at this. Should say changes allowed by me or something somewhere. Add more commits by pushing to this branch. Yeah. Can't you just push directly? Yeah. I should be able to do that. I think that's all we need to do here. So I need to set this as my remote. So copy this. Set URL. All right, now we put this here. Maybe we say set, I guess, origin. I don't know. Darkstorms is not public, no. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try pushing here and we're gonna see what happens. So did that work? It says updated now, and there are 26 commits. And yeah, there are my changes. Okay, good. So that worked. So I should write this down somewhere. Oh, I don't have. I'll just write it in the README, I guess, or I'll write it here for now, and I'll just write it down later. Write a note about this. This will push to the PR. Okay, so now we can merge the PR. Go to conversation. Go to squash and merge. And now I need to delete the branch that I created stupidly. So this branch, add item provider, delete. And now that should just be gone, right? Yep, good. Cool. All right, next I do I need to set URL back to my current URL. This is just Adam learns. And then GSM. Okay, I think we're in shape, a good shape again. Let me hit the play button and see what happens. Everything should be fine. I'm not sure why the title screen showed up with the town on top of it. What is going on here? What is that? Town is here. Where's title screen? Huh, that was strange. I don't know what that was. Then set the URL back to this. Okay. All right. So we got to make some changes to the battle thing. But before we do that, I actually had a bug that I fixed. So I need to do a get stash pop and then merge this in. Oh, there is nothing to merge in? Why does this keep happening? I keep getting different UIDs for this. I'm gonna just close Godot. I don't think this should be happening. There. Oops. Oh my God. I never want that to happen. All right, so if I open this, does it just create new changes again or what? It should be fine now. I might create a solution file. Yeah, looks like it's fine. All right, so what do they do here? Reason why this is a problem is because items are in-world entities, so we can't just overwrite them here. I'm not gonna put a comment for this. I think it's fine. So I'll show you what the problem was. Well, I'll just show you the picture, I guess. You would have an item on a display, but there wouldn't be a price. And the reason why this is happening is because I have a system that controls moving to a target. And in restock item, for example, when you reach the target, it would just check, it wouldn't check anything. It would just add an item to it. And I didn't check to see, is there already an item there? So what could happen is on the same frame, two different skeletons could try restocking an item and they would stack on top of each other. Dark Stone is going to be working off of a fork. You can define that as a remote in your local copy as long as you have permission to access it. Okay, yeah. I'll take a look at this next time around, I think, and I'll write this down here too. Thank you, Zapwood. So yeah, I fixed the code here by just checking in reach target for both of these things. Is the state still correct? And that's it. So yeah, fix bug with duplicating with item displays. It was possible for two entities with the same goal picking up or putting an item down to reach a display, an item display at the same time. The second entity would then be in an erroneous state, would cause an erroneous state. This was a general problem with assuming that reach target would still have the proper preconditions. that were insured before entering this state to begin with. The general solution is to just check and reach target if the right conditions are still present. Okay, there we go. Lunch break in 5 minutes? No, it's 10:15, so we got another like 2 hours. All right, so that was a fix that I had made yesterday, but didn't want to cause Darkstorm to have any merge issues. Yeah, so we can delete all of this. So unstash my code, that's done. Review PRs, we're done. Oh, rename the PR, I forgot to do, but that doesn't really matter. Okay, so now we're going to revamp the battle system a little bit. Let's go take a look at that. Could you have otherwise made sure that no worker has the same goal? You could. Part of this comes down to a game design question. So imagine you have two skeletons holding potions. And you have, or no, not two skeletons holding potions. Imagine you have two potions in your storeroom. And you have two idle skeletons. And you have one potion slot in the shop. So one thing you could do is you could say, okay, the skeletons know how to coordinate. So only one is going to go pick up a potion. And that way you avoid this problem. Well, at least part of the problem. However, that would mean that the second skeleton is just going to remain idle. And maybe you wanted it to pick up a potion and walk over to your shop and just wait. So like there's a game design reason behind doing some of this. And I'm not saying I picked the best way or anything. We just have skeletons doing stuff even when they shouldn't probably really be doing stuff. All right. Time to hunker down and take out the code blaster. So examine whether this should more closely resemble idle ascendants. Yeah, so the concept of cooldowns being updated and then sending out a signal. The problem with having a signal is that we wouldn't also have the entity that this corresponded to. Yeah, so in a lot of these sorts of management games, your entities, you might want them to be a little bit smarter. I don't actually think it's really going to be a problem in this game, but we'll have to see. If it turns out that people are annoyed by this, I mean, there is an easy solution, which is like upgrade your shop. So for example, imagine you're in this scenario. You have like a bunch of skeletons and you have a bunch of storerooms and they all go get items. And now look at how many, what do we have? Like 9 skeletons or something, but they can't even put the items down. So they're just going to wander around for a while waiting. If you were in this scenario as a player, you'd be like, well, this is a clear indicator that I need to upgrade my shops. So now you have 2 item displays and now everything's pretty much fine. Like there are fewer skeletons just wandering around with items because customers are able to buy before they get there. So some of that is like, it's fine to just push this onto the player and have the management manage it. And also that's like sort of the fun of the game a little bit. Yeah, I think I'm gonna also change the cooldown so that it's always in seconds. So this concept of update cooldown and then sending a signal, we would have an ability, but unless the ability knows which entity it's on, it wouldn't be able to share that information. All right, so let's analyze this. So like problem, it's not really a problem. We want to know when abilities are ready to be used. And so the current solution is abilities emit Hey Tube, do you read back your notes? I do sometimes. How do I say your name? Oh, this is someone asking me a question on YouTube. Yeah, I do sometimes. the way I look at it is just writing the notes is sometimes good enough to enhance your memory on that topic. And then maybe you read them later. But then also I make a lot of them public so other people could read them later if they want to. Like this list here is in today.adamlearns.com. So there are a couple of ways you could see this stuff if you wanted to and potentially make use of it yourself. Do you catch up on the VODs? Want to mention I really like the progress. Looks like things are happening on screen, which I like. Yeah, I like it too. Yeah. All right, so current solution is abilities emit on cooldown finished. Abilities store owner, the owning entity, and then emit on cooldown finished. That way the listener of this signal has both pieces of information that it needs. So option number 2 would be have the battle adjust cooldowns of each ability. Well, have the battle system or something like that. Adjust the cooldowns of each ability itself, and then it would know the entity and that the ability is ready. Option number 3 could be have an ability system adjust cooldowns and emit a signal that the battle system would listen to. Hey, Syntonic. So I think the most proper way would be this. It's kind of overkill. Yeah, it's kind of overkill. Because we're going to need to update entities anyway in the battle. But I guess we'll need to update them for a bunch of different reasons. Taking notes for you personally is a tool of thinking and learning by itself. Yeah, it is. And then a lot of times too, my notes do actually help me again. So I will take lots and lots and lots of notes and read them back. And even something like this, I mean, these are notes that I took that I'm now acting on, and then I'll delete them when I'm done. But this is more of a to-do list, I guess. It's kind of overkill though. And then, yeah, we need to think about how would something like a damage over time work. So I guess the battle system could update entities for that. But it could just be another system itself. And I guess the ability system could just have a reference to the battle system. Ability system could have a reference to the battle system, but even that isn't necessary. So how about this? I think I am going to probably do things this way. Why do I think it's overkill? Because the ability system is going to exist just to emit like one signal. So it could just all be part of the battle system itself. But yeah, let's take a look. So I don't think we need things like this. Is battle system is battle in progress. I think the ability system is just going to go into the entities or into the battle. Let me think about this. The way that instances are going to work is, let me show you. We're probably going to have a series of like dungeon rooms essentially. So picture something like this, which I'm about to make brighter. So your characters are going to be in this left room at first. They fight these guys and then they move through the door into this room and now they fight, the boss in this case. But maybe there are 3 more rooms afterward. So yeah, at some point we need to make sure your abilities are cooling down. Now, should they cool down when you're walking between these rooms? And to be honest, I don't think it really matters too much. Yeah. We should actually merge the two. Battle system just picks targets and attacks anyway. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to go with, is the merging of the two. I think that's fine. So in the battle system, let's do this stuff. So we're getting battlers here. It's another thing, we shouldn't have battlers, I think, anywhere in this. What is a battler? Battler has a whole bunch of stuff on it. Ideally, these are all in components. and whatever components we care about we're acting on. Everything in a battle could be considered a battler. Ability system. Am I making this up? Hang on a second. I want to look. Yeah, babality was a thing in Mortal Kombat where you turned your opponent into a baby. Yeah. I was like, did I just construct this memory? This water's tasting a little funky. I think it's probably time to change the filter. I gotta write that down. Change water filter. Okay. Filter on your water. The filter from the source, not like in the bottle or something. So what do we do here that requires it to be a battler, I wonder? Just getting... No, wait, nothing. Yeah, technically nothing. And then what, instance also had some things here? And instance might have needed battler for some of this stuff. Yeah, on death. Can I ask a stupid question about all your documentation stuff? This is your work organization or job habits? I'm not really sure what you mean. My work organization or job habits? Yeah, I think I need clarification about that. Can't you just drink water from the tap? Yes. I could. And I mean, that's probably what I'll do. All you do, you have cool documents file? You mean like, why do I do all of this? Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, so I think the organization is important for me. And this is just sort of how I operate. No, that's totally fine, Weirdo. I'm not trying to, yeah, I'm trying to figure out what your question is so I can answer it. I think it's important to me. No one's requiring that I do this, but this is how I stay on task and how I remember things. My general philosophy is you should remember as little as possible and just leave the rest to your notes. And that way you can always count on that information being somewhere. Oh, you mean typing things out? Oh, part of that's for the stream. So, two reasons for this. One is someone else may come in halfway and wonder what we're talking about. And I may forget what I was doing. That's why I write this down. So yeah, if someone else is like, wait, what's he talking about? And then you just look up here at the top and you're like, oh, okay, they're responding to someone in chat. So yeah, the typing part is mostly for the stream. If you're talking about something like this was me just doing a quick design here and being able to analyze what I was thinking about, and I'll just delete it. So yeah, I find that it helps for various reasons. All right, so now here we actually do need battlers so that we can call something like restore, and so that we can call these other things. But it's really only the death handler that we have, right? And even that can be done on the health component. Because it happens, all characters are dead. Yeah. Yeah, extra typing practice too. All right, instance probably shouldn't have battlers. Battle system probably shouldn't have battlers. We can check for death on the health component. Wait. Can we? Where is this? This is here. Okay. No, this should be done differently, I think. Yeah. Okay, why do we have the instance here? Go through each battler and add a thing here. Set next target is filter battlers. I think the battle system should know how to get these. Yeah, definitely. Because the instance is going to have multiple rooms. So you can't get the battlers for the current battle. Some instance methods and data should be moved into battle system. The instance will have many rooms, so we won't know what's in the current battle. Couldn't decide what to do here because I don't think you pass data to system, so I made the system pull battlers from the instance, but it doesn't really do anything with them. I think passing data to systems can be fine. Like systems might rely on some other system, but I've got an idea for what I want to do to change some of this. So the very first thing was to change the ability system. And yeah, I think we fold all of this into the battle system. So what we'll do is this just gets battlers, and we can't just assume that they all have ability components. So let's put this over here for now. Where is process? Oh, we don't have a process here. Does instance have a process? No. Okay, well, we'll put it in the battle system. This gets added anyway. Where does this get added now? I'm on the title screen. What actually makes a battle system? Oh, instance. Right. Yeah, of course. What? That's not good. Why would the instance need this though? What? What? Potion.png? What is this doing here? What are these doing here? Oh yeah, what's this now? Tile set atlas source. Oh, I wonder if... Oh, I think I know what happened. In background, yeah, all these were just dragged in here. Okay, so we can just delete these, I think. Because I don't think there was a need for these in here. How do we delete this? Oh, in tile set, yeah, delete this and this. Now save, and I think that on its own should have fixed this. We got rid of potion, table, and then these two things. Yeah, load steps went down by 4. Okay, I think that's correct. Also, it shouldn't have broken anything. This should be exactly the same code. Oh, that's not gonna work. I need to click here. Yeah, and these are still doing damage to each other. Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, that I'm gonna just check in on its own because that's its own standalone thing. So remove unused assets. Add them in since they won't be used by anything else. So yeah, that's totally fine too. Creating them on the fly or adding them into the scene, I think is okay either way. Let me close these things. Yeah, I think that's okay. How was I going to do? I was going to open up the title screen again. Yeah. All right, let's check that in. So remove unused assets. So that's a good first change. All right. So yeah, I want to add in a process here. So we're going to copy this over to here. It's got to be where the public functions are. Here we go. So this concept of a battle being in progress, there is an on battle started that the instance emits, and this is emitted immediately from ready. I think I'm going to delete this stuff for right now, the on battle started. only because we're just going to assume that it starts as soon as the instance is there. So now this battle is in progress. This used to be done here. We'd set this to true. And then when the battle is won or lost, we would disable it. And then, but then the battle is immediately recreated. So I think we're going to change some of that as well. Yeah. So let's do this. So we're getting everything with an ability component and we're calling process. These should just be nodes. And this should be a node. And this is more like, can't be renamed. Oh, whoops, I didn't mean to call it that. Node battler. Okay, so now battler should be renamed to entity. And process battler should be process. I'll just say ability entities. No, process entities with abilities. Okay. Hey, Preston. Okay, now it's not the entity that has this here. We now need to get the abilities component from this. So abilities component AC equals ECS.get. So now if not AC.canUpdate, although even that I'm going to end up changing, I think. AC already exists there. Oh, nice. So we could just delete this then. In fact, why was that there to begin with, I wonder? Okay, so now ability to update cooldown. Cool. Yeah, so cooldowns are now going to move to out of here. We're basically going to have a Boolean for whether this thing is ready. At least I think so. Oh, this water tastes so weird. Makes me wonder if I like poured water from the wrong jug or something, because I'm pretty sure I just had some yesterday and it didn't taste this weird. I hope I remember to grab different water when I come back. All right, this is the only place where update cooldown happens. So I am going to change this. Let's go over to this and just have this return a Boolean for now. So in this case, it'll be false, and in this case, it'll be true. If I could type, wow, what was I just doing there? All right, then over here, if we got this, if ability update cooldown, so then we want to use the ability. And I think, where does using the ability even go? There used to be an emit on cooldown finished. What would listen for this? The battle system. Oh, it would just be attack target. Okay, so then let's do that. So we'll just hard code that for now. Where did I put that? Where did I put that? What? Where'd my code go? What did I just... Oh, I modified the wrong file. Whoops. Then we're going to say attack. Yeah, attack target. And we can just pass in the ability for now. But even that's going to change. So this is active ability, ability. Cool. Okay, so everything should still work pretty much the same way that it did. We're going to change still a bunch of the stuff. Where did this water come from? Why is there a filter? What's wrong with the tap? So many questions. So our home gets, it has a main water line, and then that goes to some like there's a filter at the sink pretty much, and then I pour water from the filtered water. And so we could use tap water. Tap water is potable here, but I don't know. We've just been using filtered water and gotten the habit. I used to just exclusively drink tap water. But yeah. Yeah, maybe has a tab next to his desk. It's like keyboard, mouse, water. Potable is probably where we get potion from. Your sink water's filtered? Not the sink water. There's like, what do we have here? Sink, faucet with filtered next to it. Is there a thing I can show you like this? Yeah, something like this. This is what we have. So there's the main faucet that we use for washing stuff, and then there's like a, well, this looks like it's steamed water or something. Hot water is much. Yeah, ours is not hot water, just filtered. George, thanks for subbing. Jumping back after 2 to 3 months. Last I checked, you were messing with the Twitch bot. What did I miss? You missed a lot. So let me show you the quickest way of getting you up to date here, which is this video. 4.5 month update. Yeah. But yeah, thank you for subbing. I think I should take my other break, and then I think we should come back to this. But let me just make sure this works first, because I shouldn't have actually modified any logic. It should all be working the same way it was. Oh, I keep clicking the wrong button. And then I think we delete the ability system completely. Yeah, let's get rid of this. Finder, delete. Now search for ability system. So we're going to delete it from, what is this doing here? What is this doing here? I deleted this. Did it get saved again? What? Okay, let's try that again. Ability system. Yeah, it's now only in whatever this thing is. Instance. Yeah, so delete it from instance. Ability system. Goodbye. And now we try running this. And I'm hoping it works, but there may still be a build error. Yeah, no overload for attack target matches delegate. Oh yeah. I didn't fix this. So this can be gone now. Like sinks. Little bro. An air purifier. Sinks little bro. It looks like everything's working. Are there any errors? Nope, everything looks like it's fine. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go take my break. I'll be back. We'll finish up changing a lot of this code. And yeah, is it jump time? Is it jump time? It's jump time. close the game. Let's keep making changes here. All right, using directive is unnecessary. So I think this is the first bit. Now we don't need this here anymore. So ready doesn't need to get the instance as battlers, which probably means we don't need the instance anymore. No, we do for that. Okay. I love jumping. Okay, so now, yeah, we also don't need on cooldown finish, which means some of these using directives are not necessary. All right. Yeah, so now the battle knows how to process abilities or entities that have abilities. Okay. Yeah, I think this is change number 1 that I wanted to make. Oh, wait, the old ability system is doing a couple things. What about this on battle 1 and on battle lost? Now that's just not used, right? That's invoked here. Nothing listens to it yet. Battle 1 and lost. I'm fine with those existing. But since we don't have anything using them, I think we should probably delete them. Yeah, I think we should probably delete them. And we'll do something about this afterward. So maybe for now, we'll just say floating text dot, what is it? I don't even know what it is. Floating text dot something, create floating text. So this, what is this? The parent node? Sure, fine. And the text will be something like lost the battle. Yeah, and the position is going to be new vector 2, 200, 200. I don't know. This is just a temporary thing for right now. And this will say won the battle. Oh, let's try that out. Did you delete on battle or death call? I'm not sure. I gotta remember to run the right scene here. Okay, so these will start doing damage. No, they won't because I must have messed something up. All right, instance, fine. Oh, you know what? I think I did wrong here is not setting the instance. Yeah. The instance used to be set in ready. And I deleted that. So we still need the instance. There. Okay, so all we're checking to see is, do we see some text on the screen when you win or lose? Looks like we're going to win this one. So we'll get to test both of them out. Yeah. So yeah, it says won the battle. Oh, never mind. Well, that's good enough. All right, did I delete on battle or death? No, I didn't. This is used here and it's handled here. Yeah. Okay. All right, so first thing was remove the ability system. So the battle system can handle ability cooldowns. Now handles ability cooldowns and abilities. Oh, wait, there's one other thing I can do here, which is get rid of the owner from base ability, I think. This shouldn't be used anymore. No, it's used here, but this is not necessary because we can pass in the entity. This is going to be entity, yeah. And then this takes in an entity. And then set next target can also take in the entity. Some of this is going to change eventually anyway. And then here, now we don't need this. We just get this from the battle. So we happen to know that this is a battler. This has what, team on it? Yeah. So I'm going to cast this here, but we're going to change this at some point. Battler entity. Hey, Grace. It's going well. Been making some good progress here. Battle system. Oh, I already have this. Battle system shouldn't have battlers. Yeah. All right. So now we can get rid of the owner from here and not have any fallout, right? So this was just to set the owner. And then we should have one more case where this is. No, it's gone. Battler inherits from node. You probably don't have to cast or accept node. That code is going to change. So that's why I just am not doing anything about it right now. I think what you were maybe saying is this could just have been a battler, but like I want to delete how that happens at some point. So it's just a further to do item for right now. All right, so now abilities don't track their owners. The battle system can provide this when the ability is used. Where's the line split here? I can't tell. There it is. Okay. All right, let's look this over one more time. So get rid of the ability system. So now the ability doesn't have its own signal that it sends out. It's just the responsibility of the battle system to update this. We don't need an owner for the ability anymore. I don't know why I'm enumerating these things. We don't need an owner for the ability anymore because the battle system is going to track that. And we merge the systems together. All right, so far so good. Yeah, so far so good. So commit this. Next up, so active ability shouldn't have a target. Yeah, let's go get rid of that. Target. Okay, so with that gone, that was actually probably stupid. First, before we get rid of that, we should find all the references to it. Can you open this in a new buffer somehow? I'd like to be able to do that. I don't know if it's possible. Did I solve the 3 Discord notification mystery yet? No, I was just gonna restart the bot. And I don't think I have 3 bots running. We could check my quota though. Quota is at 17% usage, yeah, so that's probably normal. Because I've been streaming for about 2 hours. So we could triple that and still be fine, yeah. All right, so the only place this is used is right here in set next target. So yeah, I think we can just safely delete this. Do you run it from VS Code? I could, yeah, but I don't tend to do that. I just find the developer experience not that great compared to Rider. Rider is probably better, yeah. I haven't used it for this scenario. Actually, I haven't used Rider at all, but I haven't even tried it out for this. And hey, Colt. Yeah, welcome in, Holmes and Colt. All right, so we get a target here. This calls set next target if the target is null. So this is going to be actually like get target. And in this particular case, it's something I want the ability to do. So I'm just going to say get enemy target. This is going to change. Okay, so there's no such thing as a current target anymore, which means this stuff doesn't matter anymore. And actually the ability doesn't matter here either. So now get opposing team where target is not dead. Now this assumes that it's a battler, so we shouldn't exactly have this here. Yeah. But that's a different change I'll make. And if there were no targets, this team won and we've got nothing to do. Yeah, if there are no targets, I mean, we don't have to say that this won. We just return null. Otherwise, we return a random target. Now, this, I'm pretty sure we can now say targets dot random. There's an array extension. What do we call this? Random element? Is that not? Targets. Oh, targets is a list. Oh, I see. Well, we should maybe make a list extension or something. Hey, Viper, and thanks. Yeah. I've got a link to a video I did breaking it down, and then another link in that video to a video I did on my personal channel about what led to me buying this keyboard in the first place. So if you're curious, check those out. If not, totally fine. You can just ignore them. Yeah, this is okay. Cool. So we get a nothing takes 2 arguments. So delete that. Don't do anything if we still didn't get any targets. Yep. I think that's generally assumed here. And then ability.damage we'll put here. Okay, so we've gotten rid of ability on the target. Did I build it from scratch? I'm not trying to be nitpicky here, but I guess it depends on what you mean from scratch. So the design was originally by someone named Fustan, and I modified it slightly. Then I had a manufacturer send the PCBs, and then I soldered it, and then I used like my own key map using QMK. So the parts I did, I guess I soldered it. I did a tiny bit of design, I guess you could say, and I made my key map. But yeah, I didn't design the entire keyboard. Like that I just didn't want to do. I wanted something that someone had already tested and knew fit and everything. I wasn't going to take risks on that. All right, so I think we deleted the target. Everything should still work, so let's go try that out. Abilities component does not contain. Oh yeah. When you make a new abilities component, it used to. How do you do this? It used to take in an owner, and now it doesn't. And I need to go update that. Where do we make this? Shouldn't it be new abilities component somewhere? Abilities component. Right there. Oh, I see. Because it's just, because of the use of new like that. Oh, that makes it a little bit hard to find. Okay. Currently learning how to make data structures in the decompiler Gidra. Trying to make this decompilation actually readable. Let me see what this is. Tool for analyzing and debugging binary and source code. I see. Are you targeting a specific language with that? Because I imagine if you take an arbitrary binary and try figuring out what data structures are used, it's probably tough. But if you target like a .NET binary or something, it's probably easier. Then again, I have very little experience with that. Is Command R how you run this? Yeah, it is. Okay. We're gonna make a level editor for PS2 game. Oh, speaking of that, so Rami, who's a moderator here and is pretty active on Discord, I don't remember which PlayStation this was for, but was working on a whole bunch of tools for a Digimon game from something in the PlayStation, family. I think PS1 or PS2 probably. So you might have some information if you're curious. I think this worked, right? Yeah, this looked like it worked. Okay, cool. So we have gotten rid of target. I don't think base ability should have owner. We got rid of that. So I think just deleting target here is its own commit. Yeah, and if we search for the word target, what shows up? Attack target. Oh, wait, what? Yeah, what is this doing here? Oh, I see. Target take damage. This is... Yeah, this is fine. Anything else? Battler current target. What is this? Battler has a target? Is this used anywhere? No. Okay, delete this. Well, I don't think this was ever used. And anywhere else that we have a target? Called by target, reduced health by incoming damage. Okay. Yeah, then this is all different kinds of targeting systems here. Title screen. Base wander by item. Yeah, that's all fine. Figure out it's just 2 bytes. If these bytes don't have any obvious names, since I'm working with decompiled code, and they're for the game's level materials. What I can tell so far, their use is deep into the rendering code. Yeah. I think that stuff is fun to figure out, though. As you reverse engineer parts of it, you sort of, it's like solving a puzzle, but a puzzle that was never intended to be solved. Remove targets from ability and battler. From active ability and battler. The battle itself can determine targets, and ability should eventually know how their targeting works. I could see something sort of interesting here. Maybe there could be like a single target ability. This is probably a dumb idea though. And then something like fireball ability could inherit from that. And then in its use, it knows how to find one target. I don't think that's necessary. Okay, so this should probably have its own use function. I think this is a good idea. Damage shouldn't be here. Yeah, where's this used? Basic attack has its own damage. Yeah, this is part of it. Should have its own use function, and then basic attack or active ability should no longer track damage. Yeah. Loading functions. A set of booleans and some more other more complex bits of data. So I figured out where any of it shows up. So you're saying those 2 bytes are essentially just bit masks, and then those booleans get used somewhere, and it's hard to tell where. I guess it's hard to track because of how they probably make use of them. Although you can tell where memory is being loaded, but because it's a bit mask, I guess you're going to track it as memory offsets. So if you're at some byte boundary, like byte X, let's say, then X plus 1 bit might actually be how that boolean gets used. One of the bytes, the other's like a type IC, yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say what Nibble said, I guess, which is look for bitwise logic, yeah. Or yeah, try changing them and see what breaks, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like I said, I think it is kind of like a puzzle that's not supposed to be solved. All right, so we're gonna go look at idle ascendance for this. Let's go over to that and open that code. And we're gonna look at active ability, because I think I want something like this. This should take in the entity using the ability and then the battle that you're in, which is technically not exactly the battle system, I guess. And then I wonder what else we're going to want for this. Those 2 things on its own should probably be fine. I wonder if getting the instance would matter. The battle could have a reference to the instance, though, so I think that's okay. So yeah, I think we take in the entity using it and the battle itself. Wow, everyone's working on cool stuff. You know, I just mentioned this morning that I wanted to take out community as a tenet that I take a look at every single week. But one of the ideas that I had was just like a dev showcase every week. And I still think people are just welcome to do this on their own if they want to. Feel free to type Discord, the Discord command, and then join Discord. And I have a show and tell channel. And if you just want to like talk about your own projects, or give updates or something once a week or once a month. I don't know. I think that could be interesting. What I didn't want is for people to turn it into a bunch of self-promotion, because a lot of people would come into Discord and just be like, hey, can I share my Twitch link? And I'm like, if it's literally just to try to get viewers in your stream, no. Oh, nice. Yeah. All right. So I want this in here. Active ability is going to have a very, very important function here. Public void use. It's going to take in a node entity, I guess, which is the entity using it. It's going to take in the battle system. Okay, and then this is going to be virtual. Actually, active ability itself is already abstract, so I guess we don't need to mark that. Can we just delete that? Oops, that was supposed to say node, not node. Type or namespace node cannot be found. This is unnecessary. No, that's unnecessary. Yeah, we need that and we need that. Wait, what? How? Do I have to say virtual? And then, is that needed? Eh. .adm files. Twitch link bad, itch link good. Well, really, it wasn't really a self-promotion aspect. I feel like there's a difference between sharing to just kind of update people and sharing to try to just get people to buy your thing or subscribe or whatever. Zoe, thanks for subbing. Resubbing, actually. Thank you for resubbing. Only one person spams their Twitch stream. Yeah, I generally don't like that. The other thing too is that I think people do that with the hope that like, oh man, people are going to check this out. But what I've seen is after probably the first time, people just sort of ignore it. Just make self-promotion, have a rule they can only do it there. Yeah, I've generally just said ask for permission, and that's worked pretty well so far. But I think if I want the community to be more active, I need those sorts of things going on. Actually know every possible value of these bytes throughout all the materials in the whole game. Like seeing what other people are working on, as long as it's not drive-by. Yeah, a lot of what I had seen originally was drive-by stuff. Just people joining Discord thinking, well, I'll promote my thing here. And I think there's a difference too between, like, I always kind of classify people as either givers or takers in Discord, and it's pretty obvious when someone's a taker. They're there just for their own self-interest. I do not like people like that in my community. Yeah. Okay, so now we have basic attack, and that's going to override use. This isn't needed, I guess. This is going to override use. Override. And we need this in here. All right, so this is currently in the battle system, and it's going to move. It's going to look like this. Get enemy target's going to have to be made public. We're going to need to move this as a result of that. There's fine. Okay, go back to basic attack now and plug this in. So get enemy target comes from the battle, and then target.take damage. We'll just set this to 25 here. And active ability can delete damage now, which should go unused, right? Well, this can be deleted. So that can be deleted, which means attack target can go away. This is going to instead change to ability.use entity this. Right. Do lurkers count as takers? No, not at all. Did you manage to get rid of the YouTube videos people copied from your channel? Yeah, all those were taken down. Yeah, this is a fun little story. I don't know how many of you know about this, but there's the YouTube partner program, and this is what lets you start getting revenue. So there are things like supers and just ad revenue. Well, once you unlocked the partner program entirely, you get access to a tool which is for copyright checks. And it just gives you a list of here are all the videos that someone took, and here's the percentage that it matches your videos. And I saw some weird stuff happen. There were two channels in particular. One had taken my entire Firebase course and then spliced the videos together and just put it on their channel. And the description said something in it like, before you issue a copyright takedown, please just ask me and I'll be more than happy to take down your video. And it's like, this channel knows what they're doing. They're copying everybody else's videos and putting it on this channel. And I think my course might have been paid at the time. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's just my content. So I issued a strike for that. And then the other one was someone took a random Kubernetes video I did a long time ago and then split it into like 10 muted videos. It's so bizarre. Like you gain nothing by having this video be muted. You can't hear me talk about anything. And and just put it on their channel. So it's like, what was the thought process behind this? Is this a bot that tried to just like have some legitimacy on YouTube by like, being a spam account, but it needed videos, or I don't know. So yeah, they're taken down now. But it's I just never would have known if I hadn't become a YouTube partner, and it makes me wonder how many people have their videos stolen but will just never find out about it. Yeah, this video is so colorful. It was just me doing a dev stream of me learning Kubernetes. I don't even think it was a good video. They had a bunch of those kinds of things on their channel though. Probably some secret money partner ad revenue we don't know about. I mean, there's just regular ad revenue money, which I think the last time I checked, I'm now up to like $8 of ad revenue on YouTube. I'm rolling in cash over here. I can almost afford a dinner. All right, where did I leave off of this? I think we got this extracted correctly. Let's go take a look. I think you can only spend $8 in one place. Basic attack does not contain a constructor. Basic attack. Here, yeah. This is 1,1. I think we'll delete that for now. And then what's the problem here? Check to see if this is not null. Yeah, we should just assume this is not null. This doesn't make sense otherwise. Same thing with the entity. Although, why didn't it complain about the entity, I wonder? Yeah, let's put those there. And let's change the parent class. Hey, Blue Horse. Yeah, it's good that I'm finally getting ad revenue on YouTube. I've been getting it on Twitch, I guess, for a while now. And it's better on Twitch only because I actually have viewers on Twitch. I don't tend to have viewers on YouTube. Yeah, and I think the watch experience, I feel like the YouTube video player is better, but the Twitch chat experience is better. So it's hard to say which one is just overall better. I guess it depends on if you like chat or not. Hey, Grimnauer. All right. So have I finished this part now? So now using an ability is something that should be done from... Why is this a problem here? Oh, validate entity is not null before using it. That always should be not null. Yeah, I don't think we would have an issue with that. Okay, so let's go try that one more time. Yeah, actually, that's true too. YouTube mobile is better than Twitch mobile, I think. Okay, cool. Yeah, looks like things are working. Do we have any errors? No, we don't. Yeah, I think this is a good change. So this was get rid of, make it so that abilities know how to use themselves, and make it so that we don't track damage and active ability. Yeah. So revamp active ability. There is now a use function so that the ability can figure out its own logic. And we got rid of damage from active abilities, since not all active abilities will do damage. Usually watch on Twitch, but I like it here because if I miss something, I can go back to check it. Yeah. That's what I was saying. That's what I think is really good about the YouTube video player. It seems better. It seems like it buffers less. Also, from a personal perspective, I happen to have YouTube Premium, but I don't have Twitch Turbo. What PRs am I talking about? Check out the today command. Although at this point, I'm not actually reviewing PRs, I guess, anymore. But yeah, there's another developer working on this named Darkstorm, and I was checking out Darkstorm's PRs. All right, there we go. Yeah, but welcome in. Okay, so how are we looking here? So now basic attack has a use command. Target is null return. Okay. You know, one way we could kind of do this to make these methods simpler is we could have it so that using an ability could throw whatever exceptions it wants to, and certain ones just get caught by the battle system itself. So imagine something like this. We have battler target, and then we just assume that it's not null. No, wait, no, that's not what we do. We do something like this. Yeah. Okay, and then we would change get enemy target to throw a like entity not found exception. And this is not a fatal error. It just means the ability can't work. But we probably don't even want to do that yet. That's like a small optimization. It doesn't really matter. The bit suspicious that skeletons almost always win. Yeah, I wonder why that is. All right, so let's commit this. Actually, let me take a look one more time. I know I've looked over this a bunch. I just want to make sure it makes sense because I keep talking about new stuff. Get enemy target is inside. The battle system is now public. Process just uses it here. Yeah, nice. Okay, I am liking this so far. Sync those changes. Okay, I want a function in battle system that knows when an ability's cooldown is finished and gets the ability that should be used and the entity that should use it. So this is done now, I think. This is not needed. Yep, we've already done this. Cool. All right, instance probably shouldn't have battlers. Let's go take a look at that. Close others. All right, so how does this work? Oh, there was a create, I think on the title screen. The title screen creates battlers. Yeah. Okay, them being battlers is fine. I guess if they're going to be a specific type, we'll need to know about that type at some point. And that's part of what I'm wondering about here. Should I use, like, how heavily should I use our component system that we have? So, for example, this abilities component is probably not fetched in many places now. I wonder how much it's fetched outside of this class. No, it's not fetched outside of this class. So this could be made private if we wanted to. And what about this one? This happens to be used over there and over here. Yeah, I don't think that's needed anymore. Let me think about this. Oh man, I'm so torn. What is it that makes a battler unique? Like it has a life bar, but that's something it can set up itself and then just listen to a signal. Yeah, it's alive and dead or just based on the life bar, really. Same thing with its sprite. And what is instance? Instance is this? Oh yeah, I know what this is. What is this used for though? It's not used. And this is private, so we can delete this. Okay, I think we can delete that these are battlers from here. So these can pretty much just be seen to be nodes. Now in this particular case, maybe we do something a little different with that. Because we do want to find entities quickly. And this stuff should be moved into the battle system, right? Where did I... Yeah, we don't know what's in the current battle. So it shouldn't track battlers. We set this here, and we set this so that we can filter. And we set some... Oh, we set a signal on it too. Let me think about this. So battles are what's going to do the filtering. Which means title screen creating this. Like, okay, I mentioned this earlier, but imagine you have like a battle grid. So something like this. So this is the player side and this is the enemy side. And you've got whatever, a character here, there's a character here, and there's a character here. And they're doing battle against each other. This represents a battle. But the instance is actually several battle rooms. and the enemies are filled out ahead of time, but the player doesn't actually exist there yet. So this is a battle. It also is room number 1 of the instance of 3 of the instance. Yeah. And so then this is like room number 2 of the instance. And this is obviously room number 3. So the instance does know all of the enemies ahead of time. And then your player will get into the battles and then kind of leave them afterward and go to the next room. So something kind of like this picture. I know this is in negative space. How do we even make this? I don't want to have to keep just paste it in here for a second. Can't even do that. Okay, well, whatever. I don't want to keep toggling dark reader. There you go. So that's what plays into this. We're now putting these into the battlers and then putting those into the instance. I think the battle should just do this by itself for right now. Okay, yeah. There's a little bit. It's like there are a few changes I want to make, but some of them are tied to one another. So the debug code to create battlers should maybe be in battle itself for right now, just to cut through a lot of the init calls. Okay. Let me think about this. I think the first one we could do then is make it so that battler tracks everything itself. Oh, so yeah, I'm torn. What does here? Do a quick button to create an instance. I think we could do that eventually. Yeah, I want to get through these changes first, and then I think adding an instance could be something we do. And there will be 3 instance slots, and I think that's something I'd like you to figure out is how we are going to lay them out on the screen and everything. But we'll get to that as an official task. About a negative cupcake. You know, if you slam a negative cupcake and a positive cupcake together, they both disappear. And you have no food. All right, well, I got to start somewhere. So yeah, this would be a node, but then, yeah, all right. I think we start by moving this into the battle. Yeah, let's do that first. Shouldn't have battlers. So move the battlers field from instance to battle system. So we're going to delete this. We're going to put it into here. This doesn't track it to begin with, right? No, it does not. Okay, so now we use this. Field should not follow a property. Jam that down there somewhere. So now the battlers won't be here. They'll be in the battle itself. And we don't have a battle system in init. We'd have it in ready. So where we initialize this should be done in the battle. Okay. Oh. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to write a thing for follow-up work. Follow-up work. Get it so that an instance can create all of the battle zones ahead of time. Sunhalu, if you can't do the advent of codes, the advent of code competition that are at the beginning, I think try to find out why you can't do them. I don't think it's an aspect of being too dumb or too smart. I think it's just how much experience do you have? So if you're struggling, for example, trying to figure out what is even the problem that I need to do, then yeah, I would say that in itself is a skill. And then going from knowing what the problem is. So it's like understanding the problem and then figuring out a general solution just kind of on paper. and then coding that solution. I think these are 3 skills you would need. And if you fail to do one of these, then you probably can't complete one of the challenges. And then you might feel like, oh, I'm just too dumb for this. But I don't think that's the case. I think it's like find out which one you're struggling with. All right. This one is particularly tough because we need to get the battle system, but that means we need to init this from a different spot, which means we need to figure out where we're doing this. This is in ready. So we should have access to the children, maybe, I think. Oh man. All right, let's do a couple things here. Let's do public override ready. We're gonna save off the battle system. I'm pretty sure that's here. Can I check out the Godot tools? Yeah, it's in systems battle system. Okay, so let's try to save that off. Battle system equals null. And then we'll save this here. This is not what I wanted to do. Get child battle system systems battle system. All right, why'd that fail? Can't convert from string to int. Was it get node? I think it's get node. Yeah. Probably should use this energy for my projects instead. Yeah, I think it can serve as a fun reprieve from your project sometimes, and also just get you kind of thinking differently. And how many of these sorts of things exist across coders as a whole, where it's like it's a free event that you can participate in that can boost your skills and put you in touch with the community. Like Ludum Dare exists, you know, Advent of Code exists, but it's not like there are a ton of those sorts of things. Hey, Pressel, happy Monday. All right, so we get the battle system. The whole reason we got the battle system is so that when we initialize this, the battle system can store the battlers. And I guess let's make these, where's the battle system? I guess we can make these public for now. Did I not even store this? Are you serious? I don't know where I put that. I accidentally put it into battler. Whoops. Yeah, whoops. All right, let's try that. All right, property, battle system, battlers cannot be used because successor is inaccessible. I just put it here, so I probably just need to rebuild. You don't really do code that much. Next week I'll be entering university, hence just trying to get better. You know, Sunhalu, what might be easiest is picking something you want to do instead of something you think you have to do. So if you want to be a professional coder, yes, eventually you should learn algorithms and data structures. But if you're just starting out and you want to get better at coding, just pick something that's interesting to you. So maybe you find game development interesting, then you could do some of that. Maybe you find web development interesting. Maybe you just want to make a simple tool to, I don't know, put a bunch of related files together on your system. Just whatever you think is interesting. And that can form as your goal that you have for yourself. And then you can find little steps along the way and ask people for help and try to accomplish that goal. If you are going to approach it from that route, I would just say make sure your goal isn't too large or complex. So a lot of people are like, okay, I'm going to pursue what I want, MMORPG. And it's like, well, that project's never getting done. So yeah, some like small tool, a small site, a small game, or even like a small game system, not even a whole game. Those are generally much better ideas so that they're something you could tackle. All right, so we had the battle system. We had this battlers thing. We try setting this here. We go through each of these. This is going to be here now. That's exactly a channel I'm following. I'm not saying it can never work out. Or maybe I did use those words, but that was exaggeration if I did. I think it rarely works out because even people who tackle medium-sized projects, those still rarely work out. So jumping to like the largest project is going to work out even less often. Yeah. And I don't even think it's bad to not finish projects. I just think a lot of people get demotivated at some point. And so I think You need to cut through a lot of the cruft that you form for yourself. Like the code quality needs to be good enough, or the game needs to be fun enough, or just release something. That's why I think something like a game jam is a great idea. And prove to yourself you can do it. However, this is something that if someone had told me this 10 years ago, and maybe they did, I'd probably be like, yeah, whatever. I just want to do things my way. So, hey, you got to learn from your mistakes, and maybe it takes you years to learn from those. You want to do it? I had the basics done for me, making notes and applying them with Obsidian. Don't have many friends that do them or like to learn. Well, that's what university will be good for. So, I mean, you're starting it pretty soon. In what? Less than 14 days, because you said it's next week. So yeah, soon enough you'll have some of that. I mean, it won't be exactly hand holding, but you'll have resources. I always ship a work project, so maybe I just need someone to need me. You'd be surprised. It's not necessarily that someone's going to be like, we need exactly what you're building. It's that once you've built it, they'll be like, oh, I could benefit from that. And I think that can form a feedback loop that really helps people. Okay, so all of this should be fine if I do things this way. But it's saying that the accessor is inaccessible. I don't know why it's saying that though. This is, oh, there's a private setter. I didn't see that the whole time. Okay, let's run the scene. All right, so now we have completely destroyed the game. Null. That means the battle system is null. Oh, because the init is called before ready. Such is life. Okay, so on the title screen, we create this stuff, send it into a init, but this is done from ready. But the instance isn't ready yet. So we would store these only to be used later by the battle system. We could just initialize it after we've added it as a child. Yeah, that would make things easier. Let's do that. Oh wait, the instance is already added, isn't it? No, it's not. Where does it get added? Huh. Oh, there it is. Instantiate. Oh, and then add child. Okay, yeah, so let's just put this up here. Done. Dun, 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 dun. Let's try that out. Hey, look at that. Okay, cool. All right, so what did we even just change? I like lost track of everything I was just doing. Oh yeah, we moved battlers into the battle and not into the instance. But the instance is forming the battle, so it's got to pass them through. So this is going to need to change at some point. And what this allows us to do is move code from here into the battle system. Yeah. So filter battlers by team is not something I think should exist here. But technically, that's something that should be done elsewhere. Where is this called? Team has no members alive. Restore dead player battlers. Is this called anywhere? I think we should just delete this function if it's not being used anywhere. No, it's not being called anywhere. Okay, I think we should delete this. And actually, that would probably mean that restore gets deleted too. Is this called anywhere else? Called from there. And it's, what is this? I don't even know what this is. Scene scripts, battler script methods generated. Why is this showing up? And it's not even, oh, well, weird, whatever. Yeah, I think we can probably delete this. I know why it exists because I said in between battles we want to reset all the entities. Yeah, this will be called when we add more rooms. Yeah. We're not using it yet. And so I think I want to get rid of it for now. Yeah, I think I want to get rid of it for now. All right, delete, restore until we need it. And then minor stuff. Move some of the comments that we have in the non-title screen classes. All right, my big question that I have is when do I have one commit ready here? Because is this already enough? Like move battlers into the battle system? I don't think so. I think we should move all of the corresponding functions into that as well. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's it. Okay, so anything that iterates over battlers. So this, and this, I think need to be moved. Yeah. So we're going to put these in here and we're going to make them public. So there goes that. Init. This shouldn't be here. Oh man. All of this should be moved, right? Yeah, all of this should be moved. Let me make it before lunch break. Not with all of the tasks that I have. That's for sure. We can make like a set battlers thing here. But I think just putting this in ready for right now is probably fine. So here's where we're going to connect all these things. We need to capitalize this. Good. Then we just copy paste all these things into there. All right, so these go right here. Okay. Now we delete that. And instance can now be deleted as well. Yep. Although storing the instance is not a problem. I don't see an issue with that. And we might need it eventually if we started doing something like environmental effects in the instance, but we'll do that when we get to it, because right now it's not needed. So I don't see a need to store it. So now instance is very minimal. It is just a proxy to setting up the battle system, but eventually this is 100% going to be needed. So I'm not going to delete this stuff. So I think this should work just like we used to have it. And what we've done is we've moved the battlers from the instance directly into the battle. So as long as these are doing damage to each other, yeah. And I'll just make sure that once one of these teams wins, that we see some text here. No, the text is gone. Did I break that? Did I delete it? Something's wrong there. We're probably connecting to a signal on a thing that doesn't exist in the right spot anymore. But that should be pretty easy to find. Battler, on death, handler, team has no members alive. Is this failing? Filter battlers by team. Filter battlers by team is there. Battlers.where. Oh, I might know what's going on here. This might just be get parent. And this might be get parent. All right, let's try that. And let's make basic attack do like 100 damage right now. I think entities have 100 life, so this should be one hit kill. And I just want to see if that text shows up now. Nope. Oh man, what's going on? Let's put a breakpoint here. Oops, wrong scene. All right, so it's not even getting hit. Well, that's unusual. This isn't getting called. Oh, because in ready we don't actually have the battlers yet. I see. Right, so here's what we should do. Let's just fix this like this. We'll just say set battlers. Yeah. Now we'll make a public function for that. Public void set battlers. Does it know what I want? Yes, it does. Delete all of this. Put this back to private. Get rid of this. All right, let's try that. Is it working? Oh my God, I pressed the wrong button again. Oh, that was a waste. I should just change the main scene. All right, we should see some text appear right here. Yeah, there it is. And technically, it doesn't need to be in the battle itself. I guess there might be times where we need the instance. Yeah, actually there will be times. Okay, I take back what I said. Let's store the instance. Although at that point, let's just make this be called init, and let's just pass in the instance here. Instance, comma, and then put that back to where it was. Revert this change. I don't want to do that. Well, I do want to do that. I just want to do it more granularly. I want this. There. All right, now save that off. It should know what I want. Good. Oh, did it delete the other? It did delete the other thing. All right, cool. And now we call this init and this and battlers. And then we have one more tiny change to make, and it's a call to get parent. I'm never going to stop doing that. Get parent. This turns into instance. There. And we know how to make a game in C#. What do I do? I'd say the first thing you should probably do is pick a game engine. So probably Godot or Unity. And then the next step would be look at their getting started guide on making a game. Is it true that the skeletons practically always win? They won there. They won there. Either the players aren't even getting a turn. Oh, no. They're getting a turn. And yeah, the players won there. All right. It might be totally fine. It's really hard to tell. This is a coin flip. And why is it not working? What's going on here? Oh, there we go. There's a coin flip. And when you run maybe like 5 coin flips, it tells you practically nothing. They could be all heads and it wouldn't necessarily mean something's wrong. So yeah, this is very unscientific. All right, so move all the instance stuff into battle where I think it belongs. Knowing that a battle is done is eventually going to be important, and we don't need it for anything outside of battle right now. Battle has ended. The battle itself wouldn't need anything. It's just the instance that would need this. Yeah, so move the battle ended signals from battle system back into instance. I'm going to do that probably post-lunch. So this is now done. Move battle-specific stuff from instance. It's now in battle system. Post-lunch. Lunch. I think we're good. All right, sync those changes too. Check for death on a health component. Yeah, so stop using battler basically everywhere. We can check for death on health component. And battler itself can listen to events on the health component to change its texture. Going to sleep soon? Well, I hope you start your game dev journey at some point and it goes well. Yeah, so this is what I meant by that. Moved instance of many rooms. Yep. Devo code to create battler should be in the battle itself. Yeah, that's not even really necessary. I can write this at the end. All right, I am getting hungry. And so I think it's a good time for a lunch break. Yeah. It is 11:44. Yeah, normally I just try to aim for a certain amount of stream up time, and I've been streaming for 3 hours and 7 minutes. Actually, as of late, I've been going over my 3-hour time a lot, right? 3:14, 3:52, slightly under, 3:26, 3:21, 3:11. Yeah, most days have been over the 3-hour time. And then this day, I think I had an engagement at 5, some obligation. So yeah, things have been pretty good. Pretty good progress for all this stuff. I'm gonna write another thing after this, which is respond to Darkstorm's comments on GitHub. Well, I hope you've all been enjoying. I think today was a very productive morning so far. I'm going to continue in the afternoon. I'm just taking a break for about an hour. I'm going to get lunch, and I'm going to get back. It'll be another probably 3 hours, but I do have an obligation tonight too. So that might get cut a little bit short, but I'm aiming for about 3 hours. We're going to continue with the battle system and everything. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll be back in about an hour, and hope you have a good rest of your day if I don't see you. Take care.